joined now, in fact, live from Dubai. Our friend Penelope Miller, America's best racing website. You can catch her racing diaries as she bounces around to the big racing events. Well, I was going to say around the country, but it's around the world. Hong Kong in December, in March over in Dubai. Good morning, Penelope.
Good morning and good evening from Dubai.
And what did I have it right when I emailed you yesterday? You guys are 8 hours ahead, so it's about 6 o'clock there?
It is 6 p.m. The sun is still up here in the desert, and everyone's just very excited for what looks to be, I think, one of the most impressive World Cup fields on the record. I can't wait for tomorrow.
And pulled up some photos from your diary entries. And again, folks can go over to the America's Best Racing website. Penelope, again, bounces around to all the big events. And I said it before, we're envious. Hong Kong. And I saw a few weeks ago you were down at your old stomping grounds for the Tampa Bay Derby as well. We have a shot up. You had labeled this one. You're standing on the clubhouse turn. It's still dark. I assumed it was a nighttime shot until I read it. Early morning. You arrived there. Didn't get much sleep. You wanted to get out to the track. Talk about the arrival and the trip over as well. How long does it take?
It was about a 12-and-a-half, 13-hour flight, but I got very lucky in that our plane, when I flew from Monday to Tuesday, was pretty much empty. So I got a whole row to myself. I fell asleep over the Atlantic Ocean and woke up descending in Dubai. So I was a very lucky girl indeed. And then the jet lag gods decided I would be awake at 3:30 on Wednesday morning, so off I went to the track, and it's just been full speed ahead since then in the most wonderful way possible.
And we have another shot here that you had taken of members of the media standing along the rail in the morning waiting for some workouts to happen. Talk a little bit about the media and the coverage this event gets, because, of course, this year a lot of Americans that we'll be able to root for, but certainly some Japanese horses, some horses from other spots in Asia as well, and, of course, the normal contingent of horses that have been in Meydan throughout the season, including the Mike Ducock horses, which come really from all over the world. But talk about the media contingent that's there.
Well, absolutely. As you mentioned, some of the top horses on the planet are congregating here, and they are bringing the media elite, both in horse racing and the wider sports world. It's really fun. There are a ton of people I've met at racetracks around North America in the past that are here, and some familiar faces from events like the Breeders' Cup as well. But it is truly a global sport. We had our photographers meeting this morning at Meydan, and I believe Tony Terry, who's the head of media relations here at Meydan Racecourse, mentioned that there were over 180 credentialed photographers alone, and that's not counting writers. So just to give you an idea of the scope of coverage, it's pretty incredible, and everyone's trying to find that one angle that that tells the tale that hasn't been told yet. So it's pretty fun.
Talk a little bit about yesterday. You put up a diary that mentioned the breakfast, which featured workouts from a lot of the contenders, some of the familiar faces, but we have a shot here of the breakfast, the tables, the umbrellas, and it looks like a big event to kind of kick off the weekend.
Absolutely. I mean, the Breakfast with the Stars is truly just an amazing experience. Hundreds of fans come out, get to mingle with the human connections of these top horses, and everybody from little kids to seniors and everyone in between is just so excited to be there. The breakfast is fully catered. They really just roll out the red carpet for everybody who's interested in horse racing here. And, you know, I had a great time. I got to see Victor Espinoza for a little bit, and he was just so gracious with absolutely everybody who wanted to talk to him. It's wonderful to see a jockey who's so invested, not just in, you know, how he rides, but also how he relates to the fans.
And was there a good turnout, not only among press, but among locals? I'm wondering, is it like a breakfast at Saratoga, let's say, where the locals can show up? Was there a good turnout for it?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I mean, I would liken it to breakfast at Saratoga the weekend before a huge race, or Clocker's Corner on a weekend before the Breeders' Cup when it's at Santa Anita. I mean, it is packed there. And why not? I mean, this is people love horse racing here in Dubai, and when you have the best horses on the planet all congregated at your racetrack, a lot of people want to come out and see what's happening.
And then when you look at the stands on the night and see how crowded it is, it does demonstrate they love the sport because, of course, no betting over there. So they're there just for the sport of it, which is certainly nice to see. Some pictures you also threw up, and we have one here of Todd Pletcher you took of him being interviewed. Talk a little bit about the American contingent that is over there and the familiar faces with racing-related interests that you saw over the past few days.
Oh my gosh, it's been so much fun. Todd has been incredibly gregarious. I'm sure he's very relaxed going from a stable of hundreds to a stable of one. But yeah, it's been really great. I mean, Tammy Fox and Dale Romans have been so welcoming. Certainly the Shermans have just been absolutely wonderful. As I mentioned, Victor got here. It's great to see him. Kieran McLaughlin was out yesterday for the Breakfast with the Stars doing meet and greets. Todd's been around. It's really just been wonderful to see everybody sort of ganging together and representing the country so well.
And some of our local media, I know, make it over there. Have you run into Dave Harmon by any chance, or Skip Dickstein? I know they've been over there in years past taking some pictures.
Unfortunately, I haven't seen them yet, but there are definitely a lot of local media or U.S.-based media over here, which is fun, and I'm meeting new friends as well, which has been just great. Yeah,
it's no wonder, given the American contingent this year, and there will be a lot of interest over here betting-wise on Saturday morning because there are familiar faces, and let's hit on some of those. You put some pictures up of the workers. You have one at California Chrome yesterday at the breakfast, and it was kind of interesting. Victor Espinoza on the track kind of walking alongside, but all reports are Chrome is doing well. How did he look?
I mean, he looks sensational. There's absolutely nothing to ding him on when it comes to looks. And you're right, Victor did do the 2.5-mile walk from the stable area to the racetrack with California Chrome. I will tell you, he did not walk back with them. But California Chrome looks absolutely tremendous. He seems to genuinely like the surface. A horse that has truly impressed me this week is Shawish. Todd Pletcher's trainee just floats over this racetrack. It is mesmerizing to watch him gallop. I think he is a true threat on Saturday.
And want to go to Opportunity because you had a picture there, and there's our picture of Shawish looking very good, and you had commented you were very impressed by him. We have another picture, though, that I think is kind of interesting because maybe you picked up on something, and it's hard to know with this kind of thing. We see it up at Saratoga, and it can be the heat of the day a lot of times. But you had a picture of Opportunity. You said you liked the workout, but then you picked up on it and had a picture, a little lather on the neck for Opportunity.
He was. It was actually very strange because when he was galloping yesterday, he had, just a regular sort of amount of sweat on him. But as he walked back to the barn area, he really seemed like he was washy. But on a much happier note, this morning when he galloped, it was much cooler, and he was absolutely not sweaty at all. So perhaps it was a combination of it being a little warmer yesterday, the bigger crowd with the Breakfast with the Stars maybe gave him a stir, but for whatever reason, he was much improved today.
And it should be noted, again, Dubai World Cup tomorrow, our time, 1 o'clock, with you guys 8 hours ahead. It's 9 o'clock your time tomorrow night, so it'll be cooler by the time that race is run, which may bode well for him.
Absolutely. Of course, there is going to be a fireworks demonstration a few races before the Dubai World Cup. So what we lack in heat will make up for in noise.
There you go. A little cotton in the ears for that situation. I also wanted to touch on Keen Ice because you had a great picture of Tammy Fox on board, hands up in the air after the workout. And I'm sure folks are wondering what the situation is there because the prep race, he did not look particularly impressive, but Ryan Moore got off and said maybe try some blinkers, so that's going to be part of the game plan. But it looks like the team was happy with the workout from Keen Ice.
I mean, Tammy was overjoyed coming off the track yesterday. I mean, she was petting him. I have a whole series of photos. I just didn't have enough internet real estate to put them all off, but she was positively glowing and so complimentary about him yesterday. So I feel like the Team Romans is really enthusiastic about him going into this race. And I can also tell you this morning, going around just a very slow gallop. Tammy had her hands very full trying to keep Keen Ice at a slower speed.
I'll ask you about a couple.
He is huge.
Yeah, and as I say, I think going into that prep a few weeks ago, I think folks had high expectations. So it's a little surprised that the horse was kind of as dull as it was. So a rebound would not be unusual. Also want to ask about a couple other American performers that I think are going to attract a lot of attention. XY Jet, Lady Shipment. Have you seen or heard their condition at this point?
I unfortunately have not seen Lady Shipment yet, but I believe she's been training on the training track, which I haven't had access to. But XY Jet, he's come out in the morning. He looks very good. He makes my, not that it matters, but he makes my best dressed horse list. He comes out in full red tack and paraphernalia and just looks amazing. But he seems very happy here, very comfortable. I'll be interested to see how he does in that deep field. And
you also mentioned that you haven't had a chance to see Frosted because he's over at the Sheik's private training facility.
Yes, unfortunately, I have not had access to go over there. I think very few, if anybody, has. So Frosted is definitely the X factor, but I can certainly report that, you know, everyone here is buzzing about him. I mean, he's the horse with the biggest question mark surrounding him, but there's a lot of buzz, and people think that he could steal the show. Yeah,
I think both of Karen, so that one and Marking, I'm looking forward to watching both of those horses run. Before we let you go, we also have a shot here of kind of the track facility in the foreground, and then in the background, you can see the cityscape back there. Just give us some of your thoughts on the Meydan facility. I'd love to go over there. I mean, it seems like they built a state-of-the-art racing facility, but also have you had a chance to explore a little bit? Do you run into enough English speakers around that you can travel around with relative ease? And what's the experience been like so far overall?
Oh my gosh, well, you hit the nail on the head saying that Meydan is a state-of-the-art facility. It's so clean, it's so modern, it's very easy to navigate. And in that way, it's a lot like Dubai itself. It's so friendly to English speakers. Everyone is so polite. There are so many amazing sights to see. And I mean, sadly, I don't speak any Arabic at all, and it's been wonderfully easy to communicate with everyone. It's just, they seem... you know, as a destination, just thrilled to have the world watching them this weekend. So it's been incredibly easy. Meydan is just a bucket list destination as a racetrack. It really is unlike any place I've ever been before in the most positive manner. It's massive, it's clean, it's exciting, and it is just breathtaking. And
are you in the hotel that overlooks the track?
No, that is that's for trainers and jockeys and owners. We are downtown in the financial district, which is actually really cool because we can see the Burj Khalifa pretty much from the hotel, which of course is the world's tallest building, which if you're a modern architecture buff is breathtaking. It's so cool.
Are you going to travel up?
Absolutely not. I'm terrified of heights. I will just look at it from the ground and admire it.
There you go. It's fun looking up at those, but not down from the top. Yeah, very good.
Exactly.
And I'm curious, I alluded to it earlier, and we talked about Meydan being a state-of-the-art wagering facility, but again, there's no betting over there. We'll have betting here in America through our pools, obviously, on the big night. But is it strange to be in a racetrack and then, you know, you're walking around the bottom floor and there are no betting windows?
It is. You know, just coming from such a gambling-friendly environment like America, and certainly also, as you mentioned, I was in Hong Kong earlier, which is a great culture of wagering. This is just very much for the passion and the love of the horse and the sport of racing. So, in a way, it's very unusual, but it's also inspiring. I mean, this is just for the love of the game, which is moving to see so many people so passionate about just beautiful horses doing what they were bred to do.
Yeah, no question about it. It's kind of inspiring to see that many people get behind it. Again, just on the sport of it. Steve Christ had a nice column in the Racing Forum where he said, Is it sport or is it gambling? Well, this weekend we'll see a little bit of both with the $10 million Rainbow Six down at Gulfstream, and then folks just watching for the love of it over in Dubai, their big night. And I agree, we don't really have to separate it. It is both a sport and a gambling enterprise, and we will see a little bit of both of those this weekend. Penelope, look forward to the further diaries on your trip to Dubai. You've done a great job so far, as you always do. Again, we're envious. If your spot opens up, by all means, give me a call so I can put my resume in. For
well, I don't think I'm jumping ship anytime soon, but if I do, you're my first phone call.
Yeah, I don't blame you a bit. As I say, a couple of weeks ago, back down to your old stomping grounds, one of my favorite tracks, Tampa Bay as well, but now over in Dubai. Appreciate the visit this morning, and again, we'll keep checking in for the diaries at the America's Best Racing website over the next few days, and travel home safe.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for having me on.
All right, Penelope Miller, Senior Manager of Digital Media, America's Best Racing, the spinoff of the Jockey Club, live from Dubai.